I look at that poster to remind me of what the true purpose of politics is, and when it is justified to use force in defense of the innocent. I remember the faces of the people I met when I came here 20 years ago at the elementary school in Ferrisani. That day I said something I'd like to say again today. 79 days of airstrikes by NATO may have won this war, but only the people who were in the gymnasium that day and the other citizens of Kosovo could win the peace. 20 years later, I think you have done a fine job of winning the peace. I know that in peacetime, the most important thing is for us to consider what we still need to do. You can say, yes, but you haven't done this, yes, but you haven't done that. But just take a minute. Keep in mind, it was only 30 years ago that the Berlin Wall fell, the Soviet Empire began to collapse, a whole new world began to emerge, and all the old conflicts were lying dormant beneath it. Many of us hoped that, oh, this will be a wonderful time. We'll all kiss and make up, we'll be friends with all countries and all people. And for quite a while, it looked like that might happen. But there are very few victories or defeats that are permanent in human affairs. You have to stand up for what you believe is right. I did not want the 20th century to end as a stark replay of all the bloodiest, hate-filled mistakes of the 20th century. So we tried to stop the violence in Bosnia. I went to my ancestral home in Northern Ireland and we tried to make a peace there. But in the end, it all came down to whether we would allow Kosovo to suffer another round of ethnic cleansing. Half the country was vacated. And there were people who said, well, oh, it's such a small place. The great thing about the modern world is with all the intrusiveness of the media, it's an interesting time. Did you see the drone overhead when we started the service here? I'm sure it was a news drone. They were making cameras. But I wondered how many of the soldiers thought, do I need to pull out a gun and shoot it down? It's an interesting world. But what it means is that the very large can look small in the face of a popular assault, and the very small can be large if they stand for something bigger than themselves. Kosovo, for the world and for the United States and for NATO, stood for something bigger than ourselves. So, before you think about all that still needs to be done, be grateful that on your long and hard journey these last 20 years, the peace is held. There has been no return to systematic ethnic violence, to the widespread killings, to the burning of villages, to the destruction of religious and cultural institutions. The credit for that belongs to all the people of Kosovo, of all backgrounds, who choose every day, and make no mistake about it, whether we are aware or we just sort of do it, every single day we choose whether to live in the hope of a bright future or in the shackles of our regrets and resentments. Never forget, as you think about the challenges before us, and I say that to your existing leaders, you have already done something astonishing. You have given a whole generation their first 20 years of life in peace.